Okay, let's get real here for a second. Stress, anxiety, tension all have a direct effect on our bodies and our consciousness, especially considering this very stressful time that we are all collectively experiencing right now. I don't care who you are, where you are, what level of life you sit on, you're probably a bit stressed out right now, and having to manage this type of stress may result in tension, pain, headaches, migraines, however you want to call it, upset stomach even, muscle tension, just pain in general. So we're going to chat to I call him our Dr. Darren Green, because he really is. He's our in-house doc, and we are so privileged to have him here. We're going to talk about the causes of tension, pain, and how we can treat them. Doc?
Absolutely. Morning.
How are you doing? This is my first question to every guest that I have. How are you doing in these crazy times, man?
Yes.
How are you and the family holding up?
It's been quite intense. I mean, we're busy with lots of planning and lots of...
Because you're in the medical space, so it's not like you can just set that aside.
Correct. Busy with some things that influence big amounts of people. So obviously the eventing space as well with all the international sportsmen. And now busy with our own country, looking at our hospital surge capacities and moving resources around. Getting prepared, basically.
Because, yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah. And that reinforces the need for us to self-isolate, to socially distance each other. This is the closest we'll ever come, man. Sorry, man. No regular high five or hug. Let's talk about tension, because I think a lot of people are just generally stressed as a basis point right now. Tension, pain, when that tension takes that manifestation, what is tension, pain?
Yeah, so I often refer to tension as tightness. Tightness. Tension, a build-up, basically, almost of a force of tightness. And specifically, in our understanding, we tend to refer to muscle tension as being the trigger for most kinds of pain. Now, muscle tension can happen on the scalp itself, on the head, that gives you headaches. You can have pain in the neck, for example, and then the back as well. So you do find that there's a change in the muscle tone and the resting muscle tone, and that's directly related.
My back is knackered at the moment, and I'm like, skew.
You feel it.
Yeah,
you feel like you're carrying heavy. You feel that the muscles go into a state of almost a bit of spasm, and they're trigger points. You can feel the knots quite readily if you try and get them treated at the time. And that leads then to quite a few different kind of regional pain syndromes and in a way also tension-type headache.
On your side of the stethoscope, how common is tension pain? Tension, yes, we know, is pretty much the human condition, but how often does it result in pain?
Often, and the most common type being tension-type headache. Rather common, we find easily that probably about up to 4 people out of 10 can suffer from a tension-type headache, with the specific characteristics of coming on typically towards the afternoon hours in the day, and then obviously alleviating when you sleep at night, depending on how you sleep and so forth.
Sometimes even being worse when you sleep, if I've just gone through a whole process of grinding my jaw muscles and, you know.
The thought processes, I mean, anxiety, depression, a bit of sadness, all that plays a role in your interpretation of the pain as well.
Can I throw you a bit of a curveball here? Why? Why does tension result in such a strong manifestation, if I can use that word again? What's actually going on that turns this often emotional process into a physical process?
Absolutely. So you'll find that as the tension and the resting tone in the muscles increases and it becomes quite tight, the blood supply moving through the muscle can be impaired to other structures. And that could even mean, obviously, to the surface of the scalp, for example. It could mean, obviously, to your breathing and how that relates to your muscles on the chest cavity with your back and tension-type pain there as well. Eventually, you start breathing shallower and faster, and not even knowing that you're having a hyperventilation.
Your body goes into panic.
Which predisposes an array of other medical conditions as well. So, yeah, it builds up, and if you're not checking it regularly and doing exercises to prevent it, you could end up in trouble.
Over time, can that lead to a more extreme case of anxiety, or what are the long-term effects of not treating this kind of pain?
Well, the mood disorders are big, so if you don't deal with pain and pain becomes chronic, it constantly, it's like someone taking a screwdriver and stabbing you.
That's the stage that I'm at now, but I'm like,
annoying pain, you know? So that then leads to irritability, aggression. It affects your sleep quality, affects then your ability and how you view the world in terms of being positive or negative, your mood and your energy levels then.
Your ability to tolerate a 2-year-old.
Noise, then you become sensory avoidant to so many different things. Bright lights, for example, noise.
What can we do? Most of us, a lot of us working from home for the majority of our time at the moment. We all like scurry out of here after the show ends to go and work from home. What can we do to alleviate that tension while we're working at home?
I think regular intervals of breaking, looking at breathing exercises during the day. I think we'll keep hammering mindfulness practices, because what mindfulness does is it brings you back and roots you, according to allowing you to feel what's going on in your body. Instead of damage control and crisis control, you're doing it at more regular intervals. Stay active in terms of exercising. Sitting for long periods of time in your house can lead to your muscles becoming quite stiff and sore. So get up, stretch, have a few activities and games, actually. I've seen some great stuff on social media.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no shortage.
Of parents and kids, because eventually you want to throttle each other in confined spaces, you know? And take yourself aside when you're feeling like that. Ask for time alone, even within the confines of your home, to just get a bit of quiet headspace and play a bit of tag team as parents and with the children. Let the children understand that they also, too, need time, a downtime.
I'm a poor little boy to have this to deal with every day. But kudos to my gorgeous fiancé and all of those parents out there that are dealing with children at home in those confines. We feel you, man. We really feel you. In these very trying times, we have called on the greatest army on earth, our healthcare professionals, like our officer at arms over here, to come to our defense and rescue. Today, keep in mind these brave individuals are putting their own lives at risk for all of us, and acknowledge them for their courage and their exceptional service. Keep them safe if you can. If you are exhibiting any of the symptoms of COVID-19, phone first. Don't just go and see a health 100%. Professional. Please, please, please phone. We've got the numbers. We've got them on our social media platforms. And we want to share our love and appreciation. And Adcock Ingram OTC have created a beautiful platform to do exactly that with sponsors of Brave. So you can go and nominate your pharmacist, your healthcare professional right now. Go to news24.com or partners.24.com. Sponsors of Brave. Go and nominate that healthcare professional that's made a difference in your life. I could nominate you. If we didn't both work here, I'd nominate you.
Cheers.